How much stock do you put in Lewis Hamilton's words? Be ready to put your money where his mouth is, because he's seen enough improvement in Mercedes to know that Max Verstappen and the rest of Red Bull are getting pretty nervous. Let's hear what he has to say in today's video, so don't click away. After enduring 2 challenging Formula 1 seasons, Sir Lewis Hamilton is optimistic about Mercedes' prospects in 2024. He believes they'll make significant strides and get closer to competing with the Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. In a chat with GP Racing, the British driver expressed confidence in the possibility of bouncing back and narrowing the gap to the level exhibited by the Austrian team, who currently hold the title of double Constructors' Champions. He said, "It's not going to be that easy, but you have to try and take the good bits and, through trial and error, try and add other bits to improve." Considering this, the 7-time Formula 1 champion is convinced that the Milton Keynes outfit might make an error in the development of the RB20 as they strive for perfection. You can imagine Red Bull are also nervous about making too big a change and it being the wrong one. So, we need to be week in and week out close, add better performance and make our targets higher than ever because we have a huge gap to reach. That makes it really tricky. On the flip side, Lewis Hamilton acknowledges that there's no room for error at the Brackley factory when it comes to optimizing the development of the W15. He ended the interview by saying, "There is a huge amount of pressure. Ultimately, as boss, Toto Wolff has to start leaning more on people rather than going in reverse gear. How do you do that? Of course, it's not easy, as people break at a certain point. So, the role he always does is to keep everyone motivated." Apart from that, Hamilton has also shared insights into his choice to commit to a new contract with Mercedes and continue racing into his 40s, a decision that contradicted his earlier indications. Ending months of speculation about his F1 future, Hamilton signed a new deal with the Silver Arrows last summer, binding him to the team through 2024 and 2025. A period that will see him celebrate his 40th birthday. Elaborating on his change of perspective in an interview with BBC Sport, Hamilton commented, "What you've got to learn is you should never say never. But at that point, I definitely didn't think I'd be continuing. They are frickin' long seasons. It's a long time away from everyone. I've been doing it 16 years. It's grueling. There's a lot of glitz and glamour and lots of positives, but it's by no means easy to stay at your best, to stay committed, to keep up the training, to continue to deliver. It's a lot of pressure. You're being scrutinised all the time, and I'm in a place in my life where there's no way I can win. If I win a race, it's, oh, he's a 7-time world champion. You got 103 wins. If I don't do well, it's criticism. I can only lose at this point in life. So for sure, there was a period of time when I was questioning whether I wanted to go through that. Even though he went through another season without securing a Grand Prix victory, facing the challenges of taming the W14 with Mercedes, Hamilton concluded 2023 in the 3rd position in the drivers' standings, trailing behind the Red Bull duo of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. As he gears up for his 18th season, determined to return to the winner's circle, Hamilton emphasised that his passion for the sport and the thrill of driving remain as intense as ever, stating that, "I still love driving. I still love getting into the car. When they start the car up and you have all those people around you, the crew, you go down the pit lane, I still get the smile on my face the same as I did the first day I drove." Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff anticipates that the ongoing dynamics between Lewis Hamilton and George Russell will persist into 2024. Nonetheless, he emphasises the importance of engaging in discussions and providing feedback, particularly for his younger driver. In the 2nd year of the Hamilton-Russell partnership, the 7-time world champion emerged as the winner in the intra-team rivalry, finishing 59 points ahead of his younger teammate. Hamilton secured 6 podium finishes and, at times, seemed poised to contend for the runner-up spot in the championship. Meanwhile, Russell, who notched 2 podiums, openly acknowledged his relief at concluding what he described as a scrappy season. When discussing the 2023 season with a group of media outlets, Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff expressed his intention to engage in a positive conversation with Russell. The goal is to assist in a mental reset for the upcoming year, particularly after a more challenging season as Hamilton's teammate. Wolff said this when asked about his plans for supporting Russell and helping him rebound. "We will have a good conversation. Everybody needs some feedback." He's a very strong character, and he came out of the summer very strong. He changed his approach a little bit, and that was good, and then it swung the other way around, and Lewis performed extraordinarily well. Towards the conclusion of the season, both drivers experienced setbacks in securing significant results. Russell in particular faced a setback in Singapore, crashing out while leading the Mercedes charge and exerting pressure on Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz in the final laps. The crash in Singapore had a substantial impact on the points standings, favouring Hamilton, who was subsequently promoted to third. However, Russell managed to recover some of those lost points a few weeks later when Hamilton faced disqualification from second place in the United States Grand Prix due to excessive plank wear underneath his W14. Wolff said, "I think these swings happen from track to track. With these fragile cars, you can go from a very good weekend to a very bad one suddenly." As for Russell's personality type, Toto Wolff explained that, based on his experience, every sportsperson requires a unique approach. Whether it's a tough love approach or the reassurance of a supportive gesture with an arm around the shoulder, the key is recognizing and adapting to the individual needs of each athlete. Everybody needs an arm around the shoulder. I have my wife who puts an arm around my shoulder. Everybody needs an arm around them, all of the high performers. Russell recently acknowledged the challenges of competing against a formidable opponent like Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery. He highlighted the elevated performance level he has managed to unlock while facing such a dominant rival. While talking to The Telegraph, he said, "I've been on Lewis' level, on average, throughout this year, and I'm not satisfied with just being on his level. I want to be ahead of him, but I've also got to be realistic. I'm going up against the greatest driver of all time. He's definitely not a bad benchmark, and, I think quali statistics, if you include sprint races, we're exactly the same, and pace-wise, we're generally the same as well. So there are positives, and to be honest, I'd prefer to be sat here without the results, but with the pace, rather than saying, oh, we lucked into a result here, or we lucked into a result there, when actually I was a tenth or two off the pace." Even though Russell was somewhat overshadowed, though not entirely outclassed, by Hamilton in their second year together, Toto Wolff believes that the partnership of Hamilton and Russell is unrivaled. When asked about the comparison to other driver duos like Verstappen and Perez at Red Bull, Sainz and Leclerc at Ferrari, or Norris and Piastri at McLaren, Wolff expressed his confidence, stating that, in his opinion, there is no stronger driver pairing than his own. Yes, if we give them the right car, yes. I think there are a few others. Max, you cannot doubt him. He's already one of the best drivers. If you give our two a great car, I think we're right there. And speaking of drivers the 7-time world champion overshadowed, Valtteri Bottas has broken his silence. While addressing the period when he raced alongside Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, Bottas reflects on being in denial for 5 years as he constantly gauged his performance against his Formula One teammate. After the unexpected retirement of the newly crowned F1 champion Nico Rosberg, Valtteri Bottas departed Williams to join Mercedes in 2017. He continued alongside Hamilton until making a move to Sauber in 2022. Throughout their time together, Hamilton secured 50 Grand Prix victories and clinched 4 drivers' titles, whereas Bottas achieved 10 victories. In order to maintain competitiveness against his teammate, Bottas now acknowledges that he had to adopt a state of denial. Speaking exclusively to motorsport.com, the Finn elaborated on this perspective. "You have to be in denial. I was in denial for almost 5 years because every year I wanted to get back to the season and then fight for the title, and I had to believe in myself." Bottas further mentioned that it was only in his final season at Mercedes in 2021, when the team made the decision to promote junior driver George Russell from Williams, that he finally accepted the outcome of the head-to-head competition. He continued, saying, "It was only when I knew that I was leaving the team then that I noticed that I was a bit more fine with certain things. I was allowing to accept some of those kinds of things. So yeah, for sure, in your career, you go through those kind of things. With Lewis, only in the last year could I accept to myself that in equal machinery, over a period of a full season, I really struggled to beat him, and that he's probably better in certain areas. As a racing driver, to admit that to yourself is hard." So, given Lewis Hamilton's growing confidence in Mercedes' development, where do you see him landing by the end of next season? And considering his history of outperforming his teammates, how far will George Russell be down the standings? Tell us what you think in the comment section down below. And, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.